Hello everybody, Mark Anthony Germanos. Today I'm showing you how to beat a high-hanging fruit to reduce your chances of identity theft. When I say high-hanging fruit, I mean you make it more difficult, more time-intensive for hackers to rip you off. They will find somebody else who they can rip off with less effort and in less time. They are the low-hanging fruit. You position yourself as the high-hanging fruit. Here's a little background on me. I've been a computer guy since 1991, and along the way, I've picked up some certifications. This includes the EC Council Certified Ethical Hacker. Yes, I'm a hacker, but I'm a good guy. Bringing in an ethical hacker is like calling the fire department and having them tell you where a fire would probably break out in your office before the fire actually happens. We are the good guys. I'm also an MCSE, Microsoft Certified Solutions Expert, and have been an MCSE since 1998. I also have the CompTIA Security Plus certification. We have 3 objectives today. Number 1 is I will show how we are rich Americans. Number 2, present the hover trick. And 3, show how to detect spoof or fake websites. First up is the We Are Rich Americans line, and when I'm presenting this in person, somebody usually mumbles, "Oh, he doesn't know how much I spend every month." And they think I can't hear them, but I can. Because when you're on stage, you hear everything. In order to become a rich American, you need 3 trades. Number 1 is a credit card. Number 2 is a house that is 800 square feet or more. And 3, a car that starts on the first try. Credit card, house that is 800 square feet, and car that starts on the first try. I'm not setting the bar that high, now am I? Let's move on and talk about the hover trick, which involves taking your mouse and moving the pointer on top of a link, but not clicking the link. Instead, you hover on the link to see where you would end up if you had clicked the link. I have 2 examples for you. One is a fake email from Rackspace, another is a fake email from Amazon, and we'll see how the hover trick works. Let's look at the first email, which is supposed to be from Rackspace, but it really isn't. Somebody wants me to think it's from Rackspace, who is a multi-million-dollar cloud services provider near San Antonio. There are 3 traits when we look at phishing emails. And whenever you look at a new email and that spidey sense starts tingling, just ask these questions. Number 1, is there an unnecessary sense of urgency? Number 2, is there an awkward sense of grammar? And number 3, is there a link that does not make sense? Unnecessary sense of urgency, awkward grammar, link that does not make sense. And it doesn't have to be all 3. Let's look at this email. Let's look at the 3rd paragraph. We are unsure what caused this, but our best guess is. These people want me to believe they are Rackspace, a multi-million-dollar cloud services provider, but their best guess is? I just don't think so. I'd have to say yes on awkward grammar. We also have unnecessary sense of urgency, and that is not in this one, but it still can be a phish attempt if it doesn't have the unnecessary sense of urgency. Number 3, we have the link that does not make sense, and to find out if that's the case, we would hover over a link. There are a few links in this email. I will hover over authenticate to see where we would end up if we clicked on authenticate. We would end up at fss.vnmu.edu.ua, a website in Russia. I know that because I took the mouse pointer and hovered over this authenticate link. I hovered, I did not click. Let's look at another email. This one wants us to believe it's coming from Amazon. Remember our criteria: unnecessary sense of grammar, an unnecessary sense of urgency, awkward sense of grammar, and link that does not make sense. Unnecessary sense of urgency. Let's look at the bottom with this offer expires line, September 16, 2017. Yes, this is an old slide, but it still works. And I received this email on September 14, 2017. I had 2 days to click a link and redeem this offer. I'd have to say yes on unnecessary sense of urgency. Let's look for awkward grammar. And in this case, I would look at the second paragraph. That's why you are one of the very few. Very few. Who says that these days? I'd have to say yes on awkward grammar. Next up, we have the link that does not make sense. In fact, we have 3 links that all take us to the same place. And as you'll see, they do not make sense. Remember, this email is trying to convince us it's Amazon, but really, you click one of these links and you go to better.aikeov.bid. Who is that? It's not Amazon, that's for sure. The next slide is a new slide. And it's one I put in because coronavirus is dominating the world. And there are people out there who are leveraging coronavirus as an attack vector. They leverage our insecurities and our need for information. And yes, the people who are sending phish emails with a coronavirus theme are the scum of the earth. But they're pretty good. So I need to show you what they're doing to get you to click links you should not click. Also, there are 2 criteria that I haven't talked about so far for determining if an email is honest or if it's a phish. Number 1 is we should look at the from field. This is trying to convince us it's from the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, but I just don't think so. If we see the email address, it's coming from gmx.com. Number 2 is there is an attachment and I did not ask for an attachment. This email is dangerous, delete it. We're up to 5 criteria for fake or phishing emails. We already know about unnecessary sense of urgency, awkward sense of grammar, and a link that does not make sense. Now we can add nonsense in the from field. Remember, this is supposed to be from the Center for Disease Control, but it's really coming from gmx.com, and that's there is an attachment we did not request. Delete this email. Delete, delete, delete. Next up, we have a quiz. I'm going to show you 5 fake or spoof websites. Now I'll show you these for 2 seconds each. And in that 2 seconds, you decide if it's an honest website or if it's a fake or spoof site. Remember, only 2 seconds each. And this is where you would end up if you click a link that you should not have clicked. Here's the quiz. 0, 1, 1001, 1, 1002. 0, 1, 1001, 1, 1002. 0, 1, 1001, 1, 1002. 0, 1, 1001, 1, 1002. 0, 1, 1001, 1, 1002. Whew! That was fast. But Mark, 2 seconds, that was not enough time. It is enough time for some malware or ransomware to get on your computer. And that's what could happen if you click a link that you should never have clicked. Now getting back to the 5 websites, only 1 was honest. That was Comcast Xfinity. The other 4 were fake or spoof sites. Let's take a look. Amazon? No. Instead, this is an IP address, 27.251.96.35. We don't know who this is. Surely not Amazon. Number 2, not American Airlines. Instead, this is airlinesaamabber.com. I'm looking at the address bar again up at the top. Number 3 is Comcast, and this is the honest site because it's Comcast.net promoting the Xfinity brand. Also, as we look at the address bar, we see the address is HTTPS. not just HTTP. That means this site has been verified by a third party as truly being Comcast. Let's move to the next example, which is not PayPal. Instead, it is cedij.com.mx, Mexico. We are looking at a website in Mexico. And last up, not Twitter, because we are looking at twitter.com.all09.info. Once again, I'm looking at the address bar. I'm also sure you've noticed the fish tank watermark. Our friends at Fish Tank search the internet for fake or spoofed websites and then call them out. They do valuable work, and God bless our friends at Fish Tank. Let's wrap up. We had 3 objectives. Number 1 is to show that we are rich Americans. We're rich because we have a credit card, we have a house that is 800 square feet or larger, and we have a car that starts on the first try. I also showed you the hover trick, which involves moving your mouse pointer over a link, but not clicking that link. Instead, you just hover. And number 3, we did our 5-website quiz to see what a spoofed website looks like. Remember, the content of the page should coincide with what we see in the address bar. It did for Comcast and Xfinity, but it did not for American Airlines, PayPal, and Twitter. You are now the high-hanging fruit, provided that you follow what you learned today. You make it more difficult for hackers to hack you. Those who are not thinking twice before they click links are going to click, and then they get malware or ransomware on their machine, or worse yet, they volunteer personal information at a spoof website. Those folks are the low-hanging fruit. I know your time is valuable. I know there are other things you could have been doing, but you chose to listen to me, Mark Anthony Germanos, talk about being the high-hanging fruit to help you reduce your chances of identity theft. Stay safe out there, everybody. Good day.